Hi there, I'm going to talk about the so-called 88 generation student leaders who are bulletproof, coward, wicked, and disgusting and sickening. Some of the political opportunists are saying that the army is responsible for the death of teenage students and so on during the 1988 riots. Well, so how about the people who encourage and use the students to stand at the front despite knowing that the criminal section code 144 was in place, implying that anyone who do not comply this would be shot? These students were encouraged by the opportunists to stand at the front and they were used as covers. How about the so-called 88 generation students? Why did they not get shot during that time? Did the bullets avoid them, or did they avoid the bullets like in Matrix, or were they Power Rangers? That's kind of surprised me, and it's a bit striking and surprising as well. So I want to share a case that I personally know, an incident that took place at the City Hall in Yangon. That City Hall was also the mayor's office at that time. I guess it's still the mayor's office until today. The angry anarchist crowd, led by so-called 88 generation student leaders, tried to advance towards the City Hall and the mayor's office. So the security forces told them not to come forward, and they were given lots of warnings. But one of the 88 generation student leaders ordered the crowd to take over the City Hall for the so-called democracy and independence, and ordered the crowd to take the flag that was placed inside the City Hall. What's the point? I don't understand. Is that really democracy? Will they achieve what they want? From my point of view, it's a pure criminal act. Trying to invade the City Hall and the mayor's office in a very threatening, aggressive, and destructive way is a pure criminal act, and it's nothing to do with democracy. It's anarchy. Anyway, so the 88 generation leaders blew the whistle and ordered the crowd. So the crowd actually advanced towards them. Of course, troops opened fire because they had no choice, and so people got injured, and some people got killed as well, unfortunately and sadly. But so-called 88 generation student leaders escaped without a single scratch. Sickening. It's nothing but they use the crowd as the cover, and they were political opportunists. They took advantage of the angry crowd. That crowd, it was consisted of students, teenage students, and some were like high school students, and some were as young as like 12, 13, and so on. That's really sad. It's really, really sad. After that, the police and the authorities and law enforcement agencies tracked down who were responsible for ordering such criminal acts. So these 88 generation students leaders were put into prison. They were tried. They were given some prison sentences and so on. When they were released from prison, magically, they were branded heroes. And then they started making a fortune, started earning a lot of money despite being unemployed and have no skills to do proper work, professional work. They go around the town, they go around the world and beg money for so-called donations and so on, and they come in pretty rich. They have very, very high income despite being uneducated and brainless. Well, if they have such high income, why don't they pay income tax to the country? Come on, how much do they pay? I guess they don't pay anything at all. And they're still trying to take advantage. Like I said, they are political opportunists. They fail to do anything, or they fail to donate even a single fraction of their money to the victims of Myanmar flood. in eastern Myanmar state. On the other hand, one of them traveled as far as Meitila to bark at the crowd by asking, "Hey, do you want to suffer under the military boots again?" Attacking the armed forces and simply taking political advantage while the communal violence was breaking out in that town. And then a few days later, he returned to Yangon and he's just simply chilling out over a few drinks, creating impression as though he were the one who put the situation to calm down there and stop the communal violence and so on. The armed forces is the one that stopped the communal violence and restored law and order. These uneducated and unemployed and coward, sickening, deceptive 88th generation student leaders are so dangerous for our country. The people should not believe them. It will be quite worrying if we were to leave the country's future in their hands. So I will not let this happen. So my message to 88th generation student is that behave yourself, try to save some money and get out of politics. I know that you're doing politics for your living, but I cannot allow my country to face any dangers because of your criminal acts. I'll have to protect my country. I am united with the government, the people, and other patriots. We will not let our country to move backwards. I know that you will become worthless and even more worthless, and you have nothing to eat if the country becomes more developed and if the country is peaceful. So I know you're trying to stir up violence, but know this for a fact, this is really sickening.